We are back making some more DC Dark Legion content, and in today's video, we're going to be covering Ultimate Battle for Gotham. Now, this is a look at some pre-recorded footage from our last Battle for Gotham event, which was probably about a week or so before filming of this video, but we're just going to react to the fight, and I'm just going to give you some of my real-time thoughts on kind of what's going on with the fight, and kind of a little bit of the approach to the mode, and also some of the things that frustrate me about it. I don't know that this video is going to be too long because it will get very repetitive. Now, I personally don't really care for ship combat modes. I've mentioned that a million times in the past, but I know a lot of people who put a lot of strategy into this mode and some of the other ship combat modes. I don't want to diminish the fact that there is a lot of strategy behind this if you want to look for it. You know, there's a lot of organization at the bare minimum, making sure the right people are going for the right targets, and making sure that you have the lower end of your league occupied away from the targets that matter the most. Unfortunately, that's how you have to do this if you want to give your super ships a chance to be in the fight at Gotham City Hall. So we're about to jump in just a few seconds, and we'll take a look at everything. It's going to be quite interesting when you see the initial fight at Gotham and at the all the armories whenever those open up. It literally looks like fireworks. So I'm jumping in here, just going to do some squad setup, and you want to make sure that you are setting up the best possible synergy teams that you can. Making some adjustments here, just moving some of my champions around just a little bit. You want to make sure that you use your Scarab system, your cord chips as well. It's really important that you make sure this initial squad setup is as good as possible, because you're going to be stuck with it for the next 90 minutes once you get into your Battle for Gotham. So I'm going to speed through this and we'll get to the very beginning of the fight. Got about 30 seconds left before the first barrage on Gotham City Hall is going to happen, and you're going to get a front row seat to it. I mean, if you already play this mode a lot, you already know it's about to happen, but it's kind of cool to see, even though it's also very annoying, and we'll talk about that too. They've basically taken out the ability to attack any building except for Gotham City Hall and the 4 armories around that. There are still some processings where you can go out into the map and you can get energy for your accounts, for your skills, and also for your energy refills for your champions. You can see, I mean, it looks like a huge firework on the 4th of July or at a New Year's celebration. It's kind of ridiculous. There's way too many people vying for the same thing. And it just means you can see there that looks like our server was able to take the city hall, but only 30 people are going to get in. At this point in the match, there's well over 220 people in, and so we just had 220 people fighting for 30 slots, and that's it. So you get 30 people that make it in, and maybe a few others are going to start getting some attacks to count, some battles fought. Typically, the losing side actually has a really good chance of getting a lot of battles fought, because you're going to keep having to try to take all of the armory buildings and trying to take City Hall. Usually the losing side is not going to have much issue in getting plenty of battles fought, but obviously you end up losing the best rewards possible in the match. So that there's a big trade-off there. I'm sure most people would rather win and not get as many fights in. I did get plenty of fights in this setup, mainly from going after the armories. If you are focused on Gotham City Hall, you're probably not going to get as many fights in, because it does take a while for the City Hall to change hands. You can see that we're down to about 12 there. I was waiting on the armories to open up and then just trying to spam single ships into the armories. I do prefer the rallies, and I know that in a recent newsletter, with one of the comments that was made by the community management team, it seems like, and now we're about to have some new fireworks going off around the edges. I'll probably zoom around a little bit so you can see. Yeah, So, I mean, I think it's just hilarious, the amount of people who are going after these and are not going to get in. But as I was saying, the community management team has made comments that they are open to adding the ability to, I guess, reward people who do rallies. You get more incentive for rallying rather than going with a single ship. You may get more buffs for doing a rally. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about for that. They said just kind of to stay tuned. So we'll monitor that situation and talk about it whenever that update happens, if it does. In the meantime, you are just stuck dealing with a system that we have. One of the issues in this match that you're going to see is once we took the armories, it was impossible for anyone to take them back. Maybe I shouldn't say impossible, but only a few times in the entire match did one of the enemies actually take the armory. And we had so many people going to, like, sending ships to the armories that it was just insurmountable. There was nothing they could do. You could see here that how many people, I guess I'm looking for a match to join, but we'll wait a second. So you can see how many people, we got 20 people trying to fight against this one. And it's just not enough. Every time we lose that bottom right armory or a champion in it, we just send somebody to it. And that's kind of the problem with the setup where they removed all the outbuildings from the map, is there's just nowhere else to go except for these 4 outbuildings and Gotham City Hall. And then trying to go there, you just end up losing automatically. Again, you get those battles fought, but that's about it. So what they are going to be doing, the one thing we know is coming, and it may take a few weeks, so we're probably stuck with this system until mid to late February, probably after the Chinese New Year. But what they said they're going to do is add a diminishing returns system to these 4 outbuildings. It's going to be similar to City Hall, where once you lose a fight there, like once one of the teams goes away, it takes the garrisons down a notch. So you're not going to be able to fill them up the way you did before. It's going to force the building to change hands once enough people are defeated. Like once all the 20 slots are defeated, it will change hands, and then you'll have to re-up. You'll have to send troops back down. And it is a little bit of a timing thing. Like one of the strategy things we can talk about is just the timing of trying to get to these buildings. So right here, perfect example. 1 left, and then you had 100 and something people trying to vie to get in. It's just it doesn't, like, you've already missed out. Like most of those squads that were trying to get in at the end, they get pushed back to your main base, and you basically got to just do it all over again. So what you want to do is try to time it to where there's a few of the enemies left, and you don't want to be in the beginning, because you'll end up fighting against all of those players. Like if it's this 4 against 27, all 4 of those are going to lose. They're going to go back to the base, and you don't want that. You want to be closer to like the 5 to 10 mark, maybe somewhere around there when you show up, and you want to be kind of middle of the line, like probably 10 to 12 back. And that gives you a pretty good chance of making it in. A lot of timing goes into that, and you want to make sure that your best ships are up there in the front to do those battles, to get everything done so that you can get in. But still frustrating for me, because there's only so many places that you can send your ships to and get battles fought. You're constantly going to have buildings, and maybe this is not the greatest example, maybe it is, but if you look at the bottom of the screen, always going to be some idle ships. One thing that I've found is it's not even worth trying to get more energy, because I constantly have at least 2 ships that are idle. There's nothing I can do. I'll send them out, and then they'll just get returned back to the base. But you constantly have to be sending, just on the off chance that you might get into either the City Hall or into one of the other outbuildings. This would be a perfect example of when you want to get in. It looks like I got in on the front, but I may have gotten in too quickly, because it may end up sending that one back. And I think that is my Death Metal Wonder Woman. So we'll see how this works out. But see, now they were able to bolster up their defenses, and it's going to be kind of difficult for me. Like, yeah, see, I got sent back. I did get some battles out of that, which I appreciate. And, my first goal in these matches is always to try to go ahead and get those 25 battles fought. We are almost 30 minutes into a 90-minute match, and I'm only just now getting to that, close to that 25 battle mark. I did end up placing fairly well in this match, just from the attrition, really, of constantly trying to send things and being there for the full 90-minute match. But it's just one of those situations where you're going to bang your head against the wall and be really frustrated. And it really doesn't matter how much strategy you're using. It's a war of attrition. It's a war of whichever side has the most people there at the beginning of the battle and keeps the most people around. The more warm bodies, the better. And it is a system where a lot of people are going to miss out. I think there's probably a lot of people who still aren't getting a lot of rewards. So the armories changing to that kind of the diminishing returns, where it's going to be similar to the way cities work in Guardian Challenge. I think that is a very positive change that they're going to be making. They are going to be adding some more armories as well, and I say that's a win also. We definitely need some more armories. Happy to see that. Just the more buildings there are, the better. And I really want to see some more nuance. Give us some buildings that are out on the map. They used to have it like this, and they said it was too difficult for players to grasp, for newer players and more casual players to grasp, which, you know what? I think newer players are going to learn eventually, and players who are more casual, they just either need to learn or find another mode to play. I mean, if they want this game to be a true strategy game, we need more strategy. So give us some buildings that can do specific things. The armories allow us to kind of snipe the City Hall. So if the enemy team could get enough armories, they could snipe City Hall and kind of take it out. Give us some like ways to defend City Hall. Give us some increased offense. If one of your squads is garrisoned in a specific building, you get like a police building or something, you get increased offense. And, you know, there could be like a hospital that's going to give you additional HP for the units that you send, or the rallies that you send. Talking about giving buffs to rallies. The entire rally, like all the squads in there, would get an HP buff. Things like that would go a long way to make the strategy of this game better. And it would also give us more strategic positions to go after. Now, I did finally get my 25 battles fought. You can see it happened a little bit after the 60-minute mark, and at that point, you know, I actually ended up, I think I filmed for maybe 10 more minutes after this, but really just wanted to make the points that I made earlier, give you guys an insight into what a match looks like that's fairly competitive, but probably on the lower side. This is against Server 200, the first server ever in the game since soft launch. And it is a little bit less of an active server, but we do have a ton of battles going on. I'm curious how things are going to look in our battle. We've got one going against 203, so it's going to be the top two servers on out of the global, or out of the beta servers, the soft launch servers. Curious to see how that plays out over this weekend, and whether it's a little bit more difficult, like maybe things change hands a little bit more. I don't expect that to happen, but we'll see. That's going to do it for this video showcasing Battle for Gotham and talking about some of the nuances. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Battle for Gotham as it stands. What can they do better? What are you really frustrated about? I want to hear those pain points, because the more we can try to get all of those pain points into one place, and also maybe the positives in one place, the better we can provide that feedback over to the community management team, who will send it to the devs. And maybe we can make some changes and alterations that make these modes a little bit more fun over time. They seem to be focusing a ton on them, so we need to be part of the conversation with the balance changes. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to get more DC Dark Legion content in the future, and I hope to see you on the next video.